And we are taking you live outside Toronto City Hall. That's Mayor Rob Ford's friend and sometime driver, Sandro Lisi, who has appeared in court. Let's just listen in to what's happening here, and I'll fill you in more.
Andrew Nichols, that's Steve D'Souza here on scene. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Hey.
Go ahead.
Hey, there we are. So there was a gray vehicle that you might have seen just drive away. That was Sandro Lisi inside that vehicle with his lawyers. I believe his lawyers are actually out front, so we're just going to go back in front of the courthouse if you just want to follow us here, and we're going to talk to his lawyer right now. So just bear with us a second here.
Everybody good?
Yep. Yeah, you want to come in? Just get in here.
You gotta go down, you gotta go down, you gotta go stay down.
I'm counsel for Sandro Lisi, Dominic Basile, and Seth is co-counsel.
Seth Weinstein.
And he was just released on bail, and the allegations are currently before the court. We have not received disclosure. It would not be appropriate at this time to comment on the matter because, again, they are before the court and we don't have disclosure. The matter is returning with respect to the extortion allegation on December 6th in 111 court at 9 a.m.
Why did you seek a publication ban, Mr. Lisi? Why did you seek a publication ban?
It is often the case that at a bail hearing stage, when matters are before the courts, that there be a publication ban to protect any rights, including a right to a fair trial. We asked for the publication ban. It wasn't opposed by the Crown Attorney, and it was granted by the Justice of the Peace.
Is he aware of the international scandal that he's in the middle of?
Does he have any idea that this extortion charge is going to be laid? Was he blindsided by it?
I'm not going to get into discussions that we've had with Mr. Lisi at this point. It's just not appropriate this time.
There's a lot of information out there from the police documents that were released yesterday. How damaging is that for your client, and given all the information contained in there?
Again, we're not going to comment on the information contained within the information to obtain the search warrant, nor on the allegations before the court. The matter is before the courts, and it's just simply not appropriate at this time.
Does this complicate the case at all? As counsel, how do you approach a case like this with a media spotlight and so much information kind of swirling around?
Well, we're going to get disclosure when the matter's next up in court. We're going to look at the disclosure and we're going to go forward from there. But right now, we know very little other than what was said in court, what is subject to a publication ban. So again, I know it's not necessarily what you might want to hear, but we are not in a position to comment on the matter. So those are our comments. We would ask as well if you could please respect the privacy of Mr. Sandro Lisi and his family. I mean, he's not someone who's in public office. He's facing allegations, and he has been hounded by the media, and we're asking that his privacy rights and those of his family be respected.
What's that attention been like for him
right now?
What's that attention been like for him, and how is he doing right now?
It's been very difficult for him. He's been living under a spotlight that, quite frankly, is extraordinary and is, quite frankly, I've never seen before. And it's obviously very difficult. But beyond that, we're not going to engage in any discussions that we've had with him.
Is he aware of the enormity of what's involved there? Is he aware of the enormity of what's involved here?
I think we can see by the presence of all of you today what the enormity is, and at least what appears to be everybody's interest in this story.
All right, so we hope to receive disclosure again on December 6th, but again, we're not in a position to discuss the matter.
Can you get?
His bail conditions were read out in court. If you inquire about them, they will let you know if you can have access to them or not. Again, there's a publication ban with respect to any anticipated evidence or anything that was read in, so that's something that, again, to protect fairness rights to trial and other rights are not being made public. So those are our comments. Thanks for your patience. And
his condition, though, is that he can't associate with anyone with a criminal record. The mayor has had a criminal record in the past. Does that mean he can't associate with Mayor Ford?
All I can tell you is there is a condition that he's not to associate with anyone that he knows to have a criminal record. That's all I know about his conditions. Thank you again for your patience, all right? Thank you.
Spelling of your last name, Mr. Basili?
And those are the lawyers representing Alexander Sandro, Dominic Basili there, and Seth Weinstein speaking outside Old City Hall Courthouse and saying that Sandro Lisi has just been released on bail, that the allegations are before the courts, saying that it's not appropriate to comment on the matter, that they don't have disclosure, that there is a publication ban on this because, which is often imposed to protect the rights of the defendant. Seth Weinstein wouldn't discuss. This is the moment.
Did you ever threaten anyone related to a video?
I just wanted to let you listen a little bit in that. That's what you saw at the very top of the show. That was Sandro Lisi running into his car and the car driving away. And as you can see, the media there chasing him down the street. And Stephen D'Souza was just running down the street and trying to get into that little scrum with the lawyers for Lisi. Stephen, just tell me a little bit more about what was said there and what all of this means.
Well, as you heard from the lawyers just now, not a lot of information that they could give us based on what happened in court. And unfortunately, we can't tell you a lot of what happened in court right now. I believe one of the lawyers is continuing to speak right now. Sorry, I just wanted to see what's happening behind me. But so what essentially happened in court today is Sandro Lisi was released on $5,000 bail into the custody of his father. He must reside at home, and he's banned from contact with 4 individuals. 2 of those individuals reside at the home where that infamous photo of Rob Ford was taken that's associated with this scandal. The other 2 individuals, one of whom, Mohammed Siad, is the person that police have identified as the one who was in possession of the crack video. And so we know from other documentation that that's what Sandro Lisi was trying to obtain, and that's what he was trying to extort. But the details of that we can't report to you because of a publication ban, but we can tell you the details of his bail. And as you might have heard one of the lawyers mention, he will be back in court on December 6th, and that's where this process will continue. Now, I should mention, Andrew, we did see, of course, the lawyers speak earlier. The detective who's been in charge of this investigation, Gary Giroux, he spoke out front of the court as well and had some words about the question we've all been asking, which is Mayor Ford under investigation? Is he linked to this? And is he going to be perhaps charged down the road? Here's what Gary Giroux, if we have that clip, let's hear what Gary Giroux had to say.
I've made the invitation through the mayor's chief of staff, and that invitation is I'm going to pursue.
Has it been a while since you made the invitation?
No, it hasn't. No, it's been in the last few days. Okay.
Any response?
I have a response to the point that I've made the request, and I'm going to continue to do so.
So there we go. So not too much new there from Gary Giroux, but definitely quite the atmosphere here. You can see just the assembled media behind me. All of these people were trying to pack into a very small courtroom to see Alessandro Lisi. When he made his appearance today, he was wearing a winter parka, stood with his back to the media, didn't really make eye contact. His father, who is a surety, stood in the courtroom in the back and really didn't have a chance to make eye contact with his son. The only thing that Sandro Lisi said in the courtroom was yes when asked if he understood his bail conditions. So a very quick hearing. Now, as you just saw, sped away in a car driven by his family, and his lawyers asking for privacy as he now deals with these very serious charges that he's facing.
And Stephen, I just want to ask you, you mentioned the 4 people that Lisi is not allowed to have contact with, and then you also asked an interesting question to the defense lawyer. Tell me a little bit about what you were trying to get at when you were saying, well, the Mayor Rob Ford, is not on that list, but could Lisi be prevented from talking to the mayor because of some of the conditions that were set by the judge?
That's right. One of the bail conditions that set out quite explicitly was that Alessandro Lisi is not allowed to have any contact with anyone that he knows to have a criminal record unless he's in the presence of his own lawyer. Now, that's interesting because we know Rob Ford has faced criminal charges and has been convicted in the past. In the U.S., of course, though, that's where his criminal record dates back to. So whether that applies to Canada, I'm not a legal expert, so I can't go into that. But that was a question that you heard me ask the lawyer whether or not you heard he didn't really answer that question. So it's not clear if Alessandro Lisi can be in contact with the mayor. We know from all of the documents that came out yesterday that he's quite close with the mayor in terms of having a lot of contact with him, over 100 calls over a few month period. Specifically the day that the story about the video came out, we know that they spoke 13 times, very short conversations, but they did speak 13 times, and that the mayor has described him as a straight arrow, a good guy. And we know he's a friend and an occasional driver of the mayor. So whether or not they can maintain contact now as a result of these bail conditions, that's a question for legal minds much better than my own.
All right, but interesting question, Stephen. Thank you. The CBC, Stephen D'Souza at the courthouse in Toronto.